What's up, everyone? It's Joshua Oduari here again, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 reasons why your Facebook ads don't convert and how you can fix it. So if you have been struggling to get results with your Facebook ads, then you're possibly doing one of these 4 things I'm going to be showing you today, or you're doing all of these 4 things wrongly, and I'm going to show you how you can fix this today in your ads. All right. So before we dive into what we have for today, if this is your first time of visiting my channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each time I drop valuable videos like this one. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive into what we have for today. Okay, so the first reason why your Facebook ads doesn't convert is because your creative is not good enough. Alright, your creative is not good enough, and by this I mean your image or your video, because this obviously are the creative you'll be using to get people's attention, and those are the first things people see once they are scrolling through their Instagram feed or their Facebook feed. So you need to be able to get them to see this image or video and pick interest immediately in your product. So if you are using an image, make sure the image states the benefit of that product to your target audience. And if you're using a video, make sure the video explains the benefit of that product. It has to, if it's an explanatory video on the way to use the product, how it saves them time, how it saves them energy, how it helps them do something faster, you have to be showing all these things in the video. You have to be showing the different benefit that your product does to your target audience in the video, because this is going to be able to get them to actually pick interest in your product. And once they pick interest in your product, they are going to click through your advert and head over to your product page or your sales page, and you're able to click through to make an order for your product. All right. So if you are not giving them creative that grabs attention, then you should also focus on trying to get them a creative that relates to your target audience. All right. So just like I said about grabbing attention, if your image or your video is not related to your target audience, for someone who wants to buy a kitchen item, if the video or the image the person is just seeing is just the image or video that doesn't explain the benefits the prospect is going to gain from getting that product, then the person might likely not even click on that advert at all. And if the person doesn't click on that advert, you've already lost one customer in that stand, and you will continue losing a lot of people in that particular way to click through your adverts and make order for your products. So how you can actually create better attention grabbing creative is by using the software called Canva or Crello or any other kind of software that you can use to edit images. You can use them, edit images and make them eye-catchy, make them attractive, make them in a way that it's going to get people to click through your adverts and head over to your product page. All right. So if you're also going to be using videos, make sure the videos are explanatory and they are videos that actually shows the benefits someone is going to be gaining from using your product. All right. Then you can also use just an ordinary native image, an image that doesn't really shows up like an ad, something that is just plain text. It could just be the picture of someone and your product. It could just be someone holding your product, just something plain that looks like a normal post. It also gets people to subtly click through your adverts to get to your landing page or your sales page. And the idea is that once people see a native image, it makes them feel like this is an image from one of their friend. This is a post from one of their friend. So they want to click through and see what this person is actually talking about. And once they click through, it has subtly taken them from the advert to the product page where they get to see the products that they can pick interest and order for the product and end up buying that product. All right. So how do you know if your audience is not feeling your creative? How do you know your creative is the problem? A general rule of thumb is that if you are getting less than 0.5 click-through rates, then that means your creative is the problem. So if you're getting less than 0.5 as a click-through rate, your creative is the problem, and it means you need to fix your creative. All right. And the explanation to this is that if you are getting less than 0.5% click-through rate, then that means you're getting more than 50% fall off without clicking through your advert. That means more than 50% are not clicking your advert at all to head them straight to the landing page, which is a very, very bad indication that your image or your video is not getting them, it's not attractive enough, it's not relating the information or the benefit of your product to them. But then there's an exception. For some people who are super niche, people who are selling to, let's say you're selling a beauty product to women who are 40 years and above. So this product is a product that only helps women who are 40 years and above. Maybe for skin wrinkles, it's only targeted at certain group of people. Now, if you're selling to this kind of audience, you might not be getting as high as 50% click-through rate, but the idea is if you're getting orders shopping for you and you are getting less than 0.50% click-through rate, then it is all good. You can allow your ads to keep on running and keep on pumping the orders for you. All right. But if you are not getting your orders, you are not getting people to make purchase for your product, you are getting low click-through rates, then there's a possibility that the issue could be your creative, which is your video or your image, and it needs to be worked upon. And once you do so, you are going to be able to get results from your Facebook ads. All right. So that being said, the second mistake I see is weak offers. So if your offer is not good enough, if your offer is weak, you are not going to get people to buy your product. People will click through your adverts, head over to your product page and see everything you have there, and they even turn back and go back to Facebook platform or Instagram platform to continue flipping through their pages. But if you want to get people to actually buy your stuff immediately once they click through your adverts, make sure you are offering them very, very huge value for a very, very little amount. All right. What people actually want is people want to be able to buy a whole lot of stuff for a very, very small amount. So you have to be able to put to them a whole lot of value. You have to be able to present to them a whole lot of value that they can get for a very, very low price. Now, this is my own idea of it. My idea is try to see like you're presenting someone a first class ticket for the price of a loaf. So basically, I know the price of a bread cannot be more than 1,500 or 2,000 naira, but imagine you telling someone to pay 1,500 to get a first class ticket. That's quite huge. Obviously, the person will be like, wow, this is crazy. Even if I'm not going to use this first class ticket, I want to get it and just keep it to myself or sell it again. So, in that way, that's how you get people to see value in whatever product you are trying to sell to them. So make sure you are giving them huge value and you're letting them know that they are getting it for a very, very small amount. All right. So that being said, how do you know your offer is the problem? All right. At what point do you get to understand that the offer is what is making my ads not convert? It's what's making me not get results from my advert. So once you begin to get lots of people telling you your price is high or the price for your product is too expensive and they don't have money to buy your product right now, and they like your product but they don't have money to pay for it right now, then it obviously means that your offer isn't good enough. Because to be frank, people who claim not to have money will always have money once you present to them high value and you tell them to pay it for small amounts. Imagine you offering someone a first class ticket and for the price of a loaf. You think the person will not go and get money, or the person will not go and borrow the money to buy that first class ticket? Obviously, the person will go and borrow the money even if he doesn't have it. So that's how you make your offer really, really tight. You have to offer them huge value for a very, very small little amount. And the way you can improve your offer is by offering them bonuses. And the way to offer bonus is ensure that you're giving them a product that is less expensive from your own end, something that is not going to cost you so much, but it's really, really valuable to your target audience. Add this kind of products as a free gift for people who order your products. And once you're able to do this, you're going to be able to get lots of people to buy your products. All right. So try to learn how to create more bonuses. It can be a digital product. It can be a physical product also. For instance, if you're selling a weight loss product, you can also offer an ebook that guides people on the type of food that they can eat for the next 30 days. Or you can also offer a guide on the kind of exercises that they can go through for the next 30 days to maintain their body size. So if you are able to give people this type of bonuses, you're able to stack bonus upon bonus for them, and you're telling them all they are going to get all these bonuses for is for a one-time fee of, let's say, 20,000, 25,000 naira. You're going to get people to buy your products. All right. So aside bonuses, you can also offer guarantees, and you can offer money back guarantee if you are selling a physical product or a digital product. You can also offer a guarantee of fixing an item if it's spoiled, if you are selling a gadget, or you can offer to replace an item for them if the item gets spoiled, let's say within 30 days, within 60 days, within 90 days, depending on your depending on how you trust your product, depending on the confidence you have in your product. All right. So you offer them guarantees, and you also try to offer risk reversals. So you want to take these risks away from people. You can offer risk reversals by offering them a pay on delivery. So once people understand that they don't have to pay money before they get their product, you are helping them take away the fear that normally they will have within them about buying products from an online store. So if they know that they can pay on delivery, they're going to make order for your product, and once they receive the product, they make payments for that product. So it's easier for them at that point than telling them to make payments before they actually get their items, because most people are really, really scared about making payments online before getting their items. All right. Then whatever product you're trying to sell, whatever it is you're trying to sell to people, make sure you're always offering them lots of valuable stuff for free. Make sure you're always giving them lots of valuable stuff that you can actually get from your own end for free. Like the ebooks I'm talking about, you can actually get ebooks online. They are not so hard to get. PDFs, a lot of PDFs that are valuable to your own target audience. If you're selling a kitchen item, you can look for a PDF guide on different Nigerian foods that they can be able to cook with your particular product. So you can just look for different kind of digital products that are related to your product, and you know your target audience are going to find valuable. Then you can also add very, very low cost products that your audience are going to find really, really valuable and offer to them for free. So once you can get all these stuffs, get your guarantees, get your bonuses right, risk reversals, you are definitely going to get people to buy your product. So number 3 mistake people make is they create haphazard product page that looks so unkept, something that looks so rough. The fonts are not looking attractive, the styling is not okay, and yet you sell your product for a very, very high price. So let's take, for instance, 2 market women in the marketplace. They are both petty trading, and one is actually looking dirty, and her shop is also looking dirty and unkept, and the other person's shop is looking clean, well swept, and the products are properly arranged in the store. If you are passing through these places and both of them have the products you want to buy, who would you buy from? My guess is you are going to buy from the person whose shop is actually clean and well kept. So it's the same way people look at your product page and they make decision on whether to buy or not to buy. All right. So if you are trying to sell a product online, make sure you always have a page that is clean enough to get people to buy. People look through your page and they cannot read the benefits of your product. If your content is poor, the arrangement of your content is poor, it's not looking attractive, you're not going to get people to buy your products. All right. So you want to ask, at what point do you know your product page is the problem? At what point do you get to know that your product page is the problem? At the point where you've been sending a lot of traffic to your website, and yet you're not getting people to make orders, you're not even getting people to inquire about your product. You should know that you're definitely doing something wrong. It's either your website is not loading or your product page is not looking attractive at all. And if it's not looking attractive at all, if it's not structured in a way that they can read and understand, in a way that it looks like a brand or a company they want to do business with, they would not be willing to give you their money. So my rule of thumb generally is to make sure that your product page has the following stuff in place, right? So one of it is a clear description of the benefit of your product. Make sure your product page has a clear description of your benefit of your product, and you should also have your different picture angles of your product. Make sure you have different angles of your product in different pictures, right? And also have a guide on how to use your product. It could be a video guide, it could be a text guide, it could be a picture guide. And make sure you use bold and legible fonts. And a lot of people's eyes are strained from maybe using a computer or using their phones, and once they cannot scroll through your page and read the information on your page, they would definitely not be able to understand what benefit they are gaining from your product, and eventually they would end up not making order from your website. Okay, so you have to be able to use bold and legible fonts that they can be able to see, they can be able to read, and it's going to be attractive to them, something that's easy for them and sleek for them, that they will be able to read, make order, and eventually result into sales of your product. All right. Another thing you should know is align your text and images properly. Make sure your images and your text are properly arranged on your sales page or your product page. And most times what I like to do is I ensure that they are always at the center. Make sure it's always at the center instead of aligning to the left or to the right. Make sure they're always at the center of the page, so that once somebody is scrolling through the page via their mobile phone, they can be able to see the image properly, they can be able to see the text properly. All right. And make sure your product page also has social proof. That's one error most people make. They don't add the social proof on their product page. And to be honest, I've seen people who actually called me and said the reason why they're buying my products is because they saw the testimonials on my product page. So this means that there are a lot of people who buy products online because they see other people who have used this product, they see other people who are testifying of how good this product is to them, right? So if you are not adding testimonials to your product page, you're obviously losing a whole lot of customers. You're obviously losing a lot of people from buying your products. All right. So make sure you always add testimonials to your product page. And getting testimonials is not really hard. If you're selling a product that is also on Amazon, on Alibaba, or any of these big e-commerce stores, you can always go there, get the testimonials from those people, screenshot it, and also add it to your own product page. It doesn't matter if it's not from your store they bought it. All you just need is people to see that people have gotten this product before and it worked for them. People have used this product before and they enjoyed it. So people want to know that, yes, if I buy this product, I'm also going to enjoy the same benefits like this person or even more, right? Then another thing you should also take note of is make sure your order form is quite easy to understand for your customer. All right. So if you are telling people to give you their names, make sure you're stating it clearly. Your name, your first name, your son name. If you're telling them your phone number, make sure you indicate phone numbers properly. Don't go writing a whole lot of a long sentence just to get people to give you their phone number. Make sure you are making this brief. Phone number, your name. If it's a full name you want, you indicate this a full name. If you want the first name, indicate as first name. So whatever it is you want them to do, make sure you are making it clear enough for them to understand. All right. And once that is done, also give about 3 to 5 people the link to your product page to see. Once they see it, you are going to get feedback from them on whether they can actually buy from that product page. And most times why I do this is to be able to see if what I have done is a good job, or it's something that is really, really whack that people cannot even buy from it. So once you're able to get 3 to 5 people to view your product page, then you are going to know if this product page actually is a good fit to sell your product or if it's not. All right. So that said, also avoid using large size images or videos on your website or on your product page. The reason is because it ends up causing a very, very poor loading time for your page. So one site I use to reduce the sizes of my images is tinypng.com. Once you go to tinypng.com, you are going to be able to reduce the size of your images that you can upload on your product page or on your sales page or your landing page. All right. So once you can get this done, you are sure to be able to have a very, very good product page that explains the benefits to your target audience and is also going to be able to get them to make order for your product. If you're not good at creating good product pages that's going to get people to want to pay you money or to make order for immediately, then you can hire the services of a funnel builder. And I don't think they charge so much for building funnels for you. You can just hire the services, give them the information, the details of what you want to get. You can just give them content of what you want to be on your product page, and they are going to set everything up for you, set them up in a very, very attractive way, in a really, really nice way that's going to get you more prospects, more people to buy your product. All right. So number 4 mistake, and the final mistake I notice most people do, is wrong campaign structure. So this is one mistake I've noticed a lot of people are doing, and they're finding it quite difficult to get results with their Facebook ads. So first, I need to explain something to you. Facebook is structured in a particular way, and the way it is structured is campaign, ad sets, and ads. So what I mean here is that first you need to understand that once you choose a campaign from your ads dashboard, the next thing you are going to see is your ad set. Now, after the ad set, the next thing is going to be the ads itself. So, and here is how I simply explained it so that you can have a bit of understanding about it. So you have campaign 1, which has 2 ad sets, ad set 1 and ad set 2. Now under ad set 1 has about 3 ads on it, and you can actually have as many ads as you want on every ad set as it is. So under each ad set, you can have 1, 2, or 3 ads running under it. Now, this is where the error comes in. Most people set up a campaign and they have about 3-4 ad sets running under one campaign, and possibly they also have 3-4 ads under each ad set running, and this is going to clog the system for them. It's going to clog the Facebook algorithm, because you're giving Facebook algorithm too much workload to do. You're giving it 4 ad sets, and you're giving each ad set about 3 or 4 images to run with at the same time. It's going to clog the system for you, and you are just going to pumping in money without getting significant results. If you are on a tight budget, I'm going to show you my rule of thumb, what I do. And my rule of thumb is not to have more than 2 ad sets in a campaign. I usually don't have more than 2. At max, I have 3 ad sets in a campaign. And under each ad set, I make sure I don't use more than 3 ads. In short, I don't think I even use up to 3 ads under each ad set. I make sure they are just 2 ads all the time. Majority of the times, they are usually just 2 ads. All I'm just doing is 1 campaign, 2 ad sets, and 2 ads under each ad set. And the budget is always between 3,000 naira to 5,000 naira per campaign. But my best advice is 1 campaign, 1 ad set, 2 or 3 ads under this campaign. All right. So whichever one you decide to use, make sure you don't clog the system with too much information. So that being said, there's something else I also noticed people do right here in Nigeria, which I think it's a mistake or an error that should also be corrected. So in an e-commerce business in Nigeria, and you do a pay on delivery system, but you are going with the purchase optimization event on your Facebook ads, then you are possibly doing that the wrong way. And the reason why I say so is because if you're optimizing for purchase, it means you are actually selling your product online. It means you are getting people to pay you directly off Facebook, right? And if you are using a pay on delivery system, which is what most people use in Nigeria, you are not getting people to pay you directly for your product. So that should not be recorded as a purchase. All right. Personally, I don't see that as a purchase because people might end up not picking up their products. People might end up giving you complaints. People might end up traveling. And you know the way it is in this part of the world. People just give flimsy excuses for not picking up their product. And on Facebook, it might be recorded as a purchase for you. Something that has been recorded on Facebook as a purchase will eventually cost you money for way bill, money for sending items to a location, and the customer ends up not picking up. So you can see it's costing you loss on both Facebook data. My point is, if you are running an e-commerce business and you are using the pay on delivery system, you are not making a sale directly on Facebook, right? What you're doing is getting people to make order for your products. So it's basically you're just getting people to pick interest in your product, then you call them, confirm the order, and deliver it to them. And at the point of delivery is where you're actually making a sale or a purchase, as the case may be. All right. So basically, if you want to optimize an event on your Facebook dashboard, it's best to use the add to cart or the leads or any other kind of event that is not purchase. And another reason why I strongly feel you should not use that purchase event is because when you use a purchase event and people end up clicking through, sending their orders, and it's recorded on Facebook as a purchase, Facebook is going to, after a period, sending a survey to these people to actually see if they were actually satisfied with the kind of services they got from your business. So Facebook is going to send them a survey basically asking if the item was delivered to them, if they were okay with the services, if they were okay with the product, if the product was qualitative enough. You know, there are a whole lot of questions that Facebook sent to them, to these people, and these people might end up not giving the right answers, maybe because of lack of understanding the whole process or the whole information, and this will in the end haunt you. So the way it haunts you is that you get a low feedback score, which Facebook uses to assess your page and see that, oh, this person isn't doing so well on our platform, and in the end they restrict your page, and from your page you end up getting a restriction or a ban on your Facebook ads accounts. And once you get a ban on your Facebook ads account, you know what it means for you that has a business. So my strong advice to you is to always avoid the purchase event optimization on your Facebook ads. All right. So an extra tip here, know that your results can be limited to your ads budget. So if you want to get huge results, be ready to also spend huge on the Facebook platform. If everything is done well, you definitely will be able to meet your expectations. If your image, your creative is well, your offer is tight, and your product page is also good, definitely you're going to make good returns from your budget spend. All right. And also another thing you should also take note of, avoid spending so much time on the ads manager looking for a hack, looking for a trick, looking for something you can do to skyrocket your sales, because the truth is everything you need to be able to get more sales, more orders from your Facebook ads is not in your ads manager, right? So everything you're looking to get more customers to buy your product is not in your ads dashboard. It's basically in your creative, it's basically in your ads copy, it's basically in your product page, it's basically in your offers. So what you need to do is focus on your creative, focus on writing good ads copy, focus on building good product pages, focus on creating better offers that get people to pay you their money immediately, right? I hope you'll be able to get so much value from this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Peace.